From the bucatini to the diddolini, the penne to my personal favorite, much to the chagrin of our guest, the angel hair. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Jason Burns.
And I'm Danny Nucci, and this is the What About podcast. One of them sounded like something illegal. Diddolini? What is that? I've never heard of this.
It sounds like an act you do on a date up somewhere in the back of an Oldsmobile.
Hey, why don't you come have some diddolini with me?
Did you just diddolini me and I didn't know, not even know it?
We're so fucking juvenile. It's the best.
If you order a big bowl of pasta at the restaurant, right, and they bring it over to you and the guy says, would you like some cheese on that? Or the server says, would you like some cheese on that? Do you say yes? Do you go with the cheese?
Of course. Well, it depends on the pasta mostly, but yeah, I would say most of the time, yes.
The fresh Parmesan belongs on the
or when it's Reggiano pasta. And it's really nice. Or when they shave mixed together. Sometimes they shave, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. I like the shave.
I know this episode made me very hungry, I have to say. Between the pizza and the sauce, and I'm starving now.
I hope our listeners are hungry for conversation, because if there's one thing Nicholas Turturro can do, it's talk.
Yes. He's got a new animated film coming out, the Adam Sandler Leo, star of NYPD Blue, and our film we did, World Trade Center, which we had a great time, which we talk about.
And so much. He has been in so much.
Yeah, he's done so much. He's done a lot. But without further ado, the extremely unique and authentic Nicholas Turturro.
Do you remember this guy, Danny Nucci?
Of course, I love Danny.
We had an unbelievable time.
You know, the funny thing was,
here we go.
I used to get compared when I was coming up or whatever, not compared, but people would be like, this guy, Danny Nucci, was in a movie. It was your part. I said, no, I don't know this guy. I don't know Danny Nucci. Every time it's like, you know Danny Nucci? like I know Danny Nucci. No, I don't know Danny Nucci. I go, yeah, but he's similar to you. He's not similar to me. Well, there was a similarity, but like you don't know a guy, so you hear and then I actually meet the guy. I actually wind up liking the guy a lot. So it was like, I always heard his name, like, who's this Danny Nucci guy? And I was like, and there was a lot of people in that movie. A lot of them I didn't care for. I'll be honest.
And so we're talking about World Trade Center. Is that where you two first met?
Yeah. Some of those guys, I don't even want to name them. I didn't really like them. I don't know why. Kind of, but I liked Danny. I actually became friends with him. I don't see him much.
You guys met each other on
first time.
That's where I met him.
First time, we were walking around the city, and he was going, that fucking A-Rod, I hate that fucking A-Rod. I'm telling you right now, that fucking A-Rod, I hate him.
What year was that?
2007, friend. And then later, I saw a great shot of you and A-Rod on television, which is
he loves me.
Of course, he loves you
now.
Me.
Yeah, he hugs me because I told Big Poppy. I said, I told Big Poppy, he goes, did you boo him? And I said, yeah, I was hard on him, but he won me over. So he loved that because he loves, to be loved. He's a little insecure.
Who doesn't? Well, I like to be loved.
A-Rod, like they're doing a documentary on him. And so I said, put me in. I want to be involved. He's always like, yeah, buddy, I got you. But he doesn't come through. But he always direct messages me and then he erases it or whatever. I don't know. He's a funny guy. But I mean, I like him. He's endearing. I don't know how, authentic he is sometimes, but he's endearing.
He's on television. How can you be authentic when you're on television?
Exactly.
Yeah. What would 8-year-old Nick think of future self hanging out with Yankees players? I mean, that would blow his mind, I would imagine.
What would 8-year-old Nick think about?
Yeah, think of you hanging out with Yankees players in the future.
Yeah, I never dreamed that. I never thought about like that being a reality. Because when I was a kid, it was more. I was obsessed with baseball. I started around 73. I went to the original Yankee Stadium with the Boy Scouts of America, and I walked in. I was in the Bronx. I was kind of like intimidated because I was like, wow, fucking Bronx, scary. But I fell in love. I walked through, and it was gorgeous. And then they closed it after that year, refurbished it, and they played at Shea Stadium in 74, 75. I started going to a lot of games. I started to fall in love with the Yankees and baseball. They weren't that good yet. They were getting a little better. They had made some trades. Greg Nettles, Chris Chambliss, all these guys came in. Then in 76, they reopened the stadium. They had a good team. Billy Martin was the manager, and then they won the pennant. They won the pennant, and I was at the game. Chris Chambliss at the home run.
And won your heart. That's what they did. They won your heart.
I jumped on the field, everything. In that game 5 against the Royals, and I ripped out grass. I was running with grass in my hand. Actually, it's a true story. Yeah, and I planted in my backyard. I put the fucking grass in the backyard. Yeah.
So you grew up in Brooklyn? Is that where you guys grew up? For some reason, I thought you were from the Bronx.
No, not from the Bronx, Danny. I was born in Brooklyn. That's about it. I grew up at the end of Queens, almost Long Island, a town called Rosedale, right by Kennedy. Like the planes would fly over my house. But no, I wasn't a Brooklyn kid. I was a Queens boy. You know, I had a cousin from Brooklyn. My mother was a Brooklyn girl. My father came from Italy, but lived in Jamaica. Grew up in Jamaica.
I was Queens.
I was Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother. He tries to make out like we're from the Lower East Side. He doesn't like Queens, but I love Queens.
He doesn't like. That's why I grew up in Queens. I'm originally from Queens.
What neighborhood?
Forest Hills and Kew Gardens.
Yeah,
both.
That's real Queens. That's like really Queens. Like I'm almost like if you went down my street across the Hook Creek, you're in Long Island. So, but I would always rep Queens because Long Island was always a little douchey, even though I went to high school in Long Island. But I was.
Did you act in high school? Were you an actor in high school? Was your brother already an actor, a professional?
I acted a little bit as a kid. I was in a musical one time because I used to sing. They thought I was going to be a singer. I had a pretty good voice, and I sang. I was in Oliver Twist. Then in high school, they asked me to come out for a musical when I was a senior. Some guy, this teacher, Mr. Siller, he said, "I heard you're an actor." They told me you're a natural actor, some shit.
Who was they?
Well, I don't know, kids. I always say they. Kids, they heard me.
But it's funny. It's like, who's they? Who talked to this guy? I want to know.
No. They kids in high school heard me like read a play. I was always kind of like, I was absent a lot, but I was always
you were a shy kid, is what you're saying?
I was shy, but I was eccentric.
I'm kidding. You are not shy. Listen, I spent a number of weeks with you walking around the city in New York, and you are anything but shy.
Well, everybody knows me there. Everybody knows me there.
Oh, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, I walk around.
We may or may not get into, depending on the legal issues.
No, it's not bad. I had Danny in Little Italy. He was like, the guy doesn't even know I'm here, downtown Ronnie.
Oh my God!
He doesn't even know I exist. Danny goes. It was like I wasn't there. There was this guy downtown.
That's an unbelievable. That's a whole other story. So the kid said that you were an actor, the teacher, and you're like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And you ended up being in the plays?
I went out and then I got casted in Guys and Dolls. I was Nathan Detroit. It was a big part. And
sure.
And then after the play, everybody was, everybody liked what I did, and even the principal who didn't like me was like, "You're talented. I like you."
Why did the principal like you?
I don't know. He just thought I was mischievous or something. I was absent a lot. I was sick a lot for a couple of years, and I was like the people thought I passed away or something.
What was the matter with you?
I was fragile. I don't know. I had mono. I had this. I had that. And second and third year, I was always like, I was sick. I was always out. I was always sick in school. My brother would say, my mother, send him. I always had like a lot of physical. I got sick the most as a kid. My mother said that I got the flu at 2 weeks old, and the doctor.
You still haven't recovered?
No, I still get sick, but not as I'm 60. I made it to almost 62.
Which, by the way, that's amazing.
It's not bad, right?
I've seen the way you live. It's amazing you made it to 60.
How old are you, Danny?
55.
All right, I got a few years on you. You look great.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in a while. You got a little gray beard.
A lot of gray beard.
Did I see you in The Offer?
You did see me in The Offer.
Yeah. Because I was up for that part, but then they gave it to the guy doing that bad impersonation of that role. What was the name?
Which role?
Columbo or something like that. He's a good actor, but he did like a cartoon. I don't know what he was doing with that voice or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I was like.
By the way, I think every Italian actor in the world read for The Offer.
But I saw you. I was like, I got excited when I see you. I was like, hey, there's Danny. I said, wow. It was fun. It was like cheesy fun. it was a fun watch anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Everybody that I talked to absolutely loved it. They said, "Oh, it was really fun. I watched all the episodes. It was really fun."
Yeah.
But back to you.
Yeah.
Sick kid, doesn't go to school.
Yeah.
Brother says send him.
Well, can I step in there? In the 7th grade, I missed 78 days of school. Did you miss more than 78? I barely graduated.
How do you remember that you missed 78 days? How do you get that specific fucking number?
There was one kid who missed 87, so he missed more than I did. His name was also Nick.
I could tell. I don't know the exact number, but I was barely there. Sophomore, junior. I went to St. Agnes. I was barely there, and I don't know. I could have broken your record. I'm not sure. I mean, who would know how many days I missed? I mean, no, I don't remember that. I just know that, I don't know how I even graduated because I missed a lot of high school. My freshman year I was there, and then senior year I made a comeback and I was in the play, and then everybody thought I was a big deal. And then
I love that he frames it like I made a comeback. Oh, that was it. Everybody knew. This is it. Nicky's here now.
No, I make comebacks. I always make a comeback. Like one time I was doing this mini-series with my brother in Rome a few years ago, and I was an archbishop, and they put a fake beard on me, and it was beautiful, made by these Italians, but it itchy every fucking day. So my brothers are, he got me the job. He's a perfectionist, and hard dialogue that he was doing, monologues. I'm watching him do it going, oh my God, I was having anxiety going, how could you remember this? I said, John, how do you remember this? He goes to me.
What are you talking about? He's an actor.
I know, but the dialogue was so hard. Danny, you and me.
Stop yelling at me. I'm just asking questions. Yelling.
I'm just telling you that you and me couldn't have done this dialogue. It was insane. So I said to him,
Speak for yourself.
All right, whatever. Maybe you're more Shakespearean than me. So,
I don't know that I'm Shakespearean, but I can remember dialogue.
I can somewhat, but I'm not. My memory now. I'm like ADD. So it goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. Anyway, I said to him, how are you saying that? How are you? He goes, it's in my body, Nick. It's in my body. I said, oh, okay. It's in your body. I had to think about it. No, but I get it. I understand. Now, what he was saying is that he's been working on it for a long, long time, so that he knows it so well that it's no longer in his fucking head.
Yeah.
It's in
he's
his.
Not thinking
it's in his. That's when you really know, because a lot of times, you remember something quick, right? You remember it, you got it, and then
especially working on NYPD Blue, you get the dialogue right before you fucking first take.
Yeah, and
sometimes, you're waiting for the dialogue, first take. You're dressed, you're in makeup, you're ready to go. Going, I don't know what the scene is. There's no dialogue. I'm still waiting. What are we doing?
I know I don't know David Milch, and you had to say it word for word. And the dialogue in that show was very difficult. It was very, it wasn't written very naturalistic, if you know what I mean. It was written like unnatural. And sometimes you didn't know what the fuck you were saying. But anyway, no, that dialogue in that show was not easy. It wasn't easy dialogue. And it was like, but when you got it, it was good. You would say, oh yeah, it's better than sometimes you'd be like, wow, you have a backwards way of saying this stuff. It was almost
same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I wouldn't say David Mamet, but it was.
Yeah, I worked with Milch. I did a pilot for him, and he was very, very, very specific. He was very, very clear about what he wanted and how he wanted it.
Right. What was the pilot?
It was called something like Home, and it was basically about a bunch of kids that were like foster kids, and I played like the older kid.
Nice.
And
were you a child actor?
Were you a child actor?
No, I'm asking you.
I'm asking you. Yes, the answer is yes. Now I'm asking you.
I wouldn't consider myself a child actor. I acted in high school, but I wouldn't say I acted like professionally. Were you?
So what did you do before you became an actor? Were you looking at your brother doing it and going, I could do that?
No. We weren't acting like my brother acted when he was in high school, a senior. He went to see a Broadway musical, Pippin, and then he put on a play. He put on a version of Pippin. I don't know how he knew how to do it, and then he put on this musical, and then I sang in the Best of Broadway. I did My Way in front of like 1,000 people, and then the people were giggling and laughing. I was a kid singing My Way with a tux, and I didn't know they were laughing like at the words, not me. And then I picked up on it, and I was like, oh, they're cracking up because this little kid is singing, and now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain, and they're fucking laughing hysterical, and I was like, oh yeah, I got it. I always knew, like, in front of an audience, I said, that magic always happened with me. Like one time at basketball camp, there was this guy, Jimmy Valvano, who passed away, great college coach, you know.
Sure, of course.
I raised my hand.
Jimmy V.
Doing a drill. I raised my hand. He was like, come on, get up here, kid. And whatever he goes, then he goes, are you ready? He goes, are you juiced? I thought he said, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? And I said, no, I'm Italian.
No, I'm Italian.
He went crazy. The whole gym's ladies, like, I love him. I asked him if he's Jewish. He says, no, I'm Italian. I didn't know what I did. I was just like, I got a big laugh. And I said, oh, shit. I always knew how to, like, you know, sort of like being on I always felt like I was performing or something. Not even if I was trying, but I was always a nervous wreck anyway. I was very nervous always. I was a nervous kid.
And so the singing, did that come from your mother? Because your mother was a singer, right?
Yeah. My mother had a beautiful voice, and I actually had a pretty nice voice. I mean, like kind of a ballad type, you know. I mean, like more of a
like a crooner.
Like a crooner.
Like a Bobby Darin? You would do the old...
yeah, something like that. You know, I used to listen to Sinatra. I used to listen to different guys growing up. And that was my first love, was really music. I loved... My oldest brother was a musician. John didn't sing. I mean, he could perform a song, but he wasn't like a singer. My other brother played guitar, sax, but we weren't in show business. But my dad always said, showbiz kids, you guys are showbiz kids, but we weren't. We just used to like perform around the house or whatever, like for our uncles and aunts. But it wasn't like we were like some Broadway troupe or something, you know?
So when did it become professional? Because I actually don't know this about you. I mean, it's not like when we're hanging out, I'm interviewing you for, you know, your life story. Yeah. So when did you actually become an actor and you were like, okay, this is what I'm doing? Because my story is basically I was in high school and I had nothing left to do. And I was like, I'm not going to college. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. It's worked so far. I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years. I'm going to see if this works out. And that was it. So I don't know what happened to you. What did you like all of a sudden? Were you in something? How did it become professional?
Yeah. What happened was I went to college for 2 years. 1 year I was a theater major at this Adelphi in Long Island. It was a BFA program, but I didn't like it. It was all these hoity-toity kids, and they were running around in tights and doing movement and voice, and I don't know. I had one friend there, this guy Ray Morales, who's now a cop in LA, but it was like all these theater kids, and I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't committed, and I wasn't like, you know, I didn't even know if that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't like the program after 1 year, so I quit. And then, you know, like none of those kids made it either. It's funny. Like, I don't think any of them made it. And then I got kind of derailed and sidetracked. I was involved with a girl, and my first girlfriend, whatever. I wound up getting married really young, stupidly. Wasn't ready for that shit. And then I got stuck as a doorman on Central Park South. I was a doorman because 1 year I was a bellhop. I knew I could make money as a doorman. I got this job, and I kind of got trapped in it for a number of years. So I let the acting thing go, but it was always kind of there.
That's right. I remember this now because you had a project about a doorman, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had 2 development deals that my brother messed up. And then I actually shot.
Blame him.
Yeah, I will blame him. I will. He fucked it up.
John.
He fucked it up.
Sorry, go ahead. So you had this job as a doorman. Sorry to interrupt the story.
No, it's all right. So
you had this job. You're a doorman.
I had the doorman job.
You hate life.
No, I didn't hate life.
You're very personable.
I didn't hate. I was very popular.
You were fun. Yeah, I was going to say you're probably the greatest doorman ever. I
was a fun.
Remember
doorman.
People's names. Remember the kids' names.
I know.
And they give you some nice gifts on the holidays, right?
Mine was in and out. It was not like it was a hotel, St. Moritz, Central Park South. So I was right there on the corner of 6th and 59th. Had the hat on and the whole thing. I used to snap my fingers. I had a whole routine. The bellmen were all young guys. We were kind of wild. It was almost like it could be like a great TV show. It still could be, except I'd have to play like the older guy now. I could do it with all young guys. I think I could do it with all young guys. And anyways, I was
Jason's a writer. You can talk to him about it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. Anyways,
I know he's a Red Sox fan. It's a problem. He's also a Pirates fan, which is a whole other fucking story. But go on. So you're a doorman.
So I was doorman for a lot of years. And John went to college. Then he struggled. Then he went to Yale. And then when he got out of Yale, his career started to take off. And and then he'd done a few movies. And I had not been really around the movie world ever. So I went to see him in this movie, Five Corners, and he was like really great in it. And then he invited me down to go down and do the right thing. He's doing this movie with this guy named Spike Lee. This kind of like changed my whole projection, because it was always there, the thing. So I went down there, I had a great day. I'm watching them see, there was something special going on. And I was like, who's this Spike Lee guy? And I said, so I said to my brother, maybe it would have been fun if I could do something. And he goes, why, you wanted to do a little part or something? I go, yeah, whatever. I could be an extra one night. Because I could have maybe got you like a little part. I said, nah, I'll just come be an extra one night. So little do I know, I took a week off. Well, every day was rained out. And then one night I finally was an extra in the burning the pizzeria. I think I was supposed to go back. And I didn't go back I had to go back to work, but I had a good time. But Spike, was always like looking at people and discovered people in nightclubs on the street. He had an eye for, I don't know, for whatever, for talent. And he called me that fall or some shit out of the blue. Got my number from John. He woke me up in the morning. Goes, can I speak to Nick? And I said, yes, it's Nick. I said, who's this? He goes, it's Spike. I said, Spike who? I was like, I don't know fucking Spike. Spike Lee? And he goes, yeah, what's up? And I was like, oh my God, Spike Lee, what are you calling me, And he goes, hey man, would you like to do some looping? I didn't know what looping was. I told this story a million times, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I said, I'll loop. Yeah, I'll loop. I didn't know what he wanted me to do. So he basically brought me into a studio. He had me scream like racial obscenities for like 3 hours. And it wasn't hard for me.
It's just the weirdest payday ever.
Yeah, but it wasn't about a payday. It got me a part. It got me a part in a movie. The next thing I know, the guy fell in love with me. And then he told my brother, he said, the guy's really raw, but I really think he's got some talent, or whatever. And so next thing I know, he goes, he wrote a part for you in a movie. I said, he wrote a part for me? And I was like, really? Wow, I was blown away. Yeah, he goes, we're going to play brothers, 2 Jewish brothers. And I said, whoa, wow, it was Mo Better Blues. And so I was thrilled. I didn't know. I went in there. I was like, I'd never been in a movie. I acted a little bit as a kid, musicals.
I mean, you obviously had the performance gene.
Yeah, I had the gene. And so I had to kind of like, when I'm working with, my brother. And then I'm in a scene with Denzel. I was like, wow, who's this guy? He's great. My brother goes, he's going to be a star. So yes, I held my own. I had a good experience. I mean, really had a lot of fun. And then, I had to go back to the door. My brother goes, don't forget about what happened here. You had like an experience, right? I said, yeah, no, I won't. And then Spike goes, I got something coming up down the road, bigger part for you. I want you to, and I started pursuing it a little bit. I took an acting class with this guy, Bob Modica. He used to stir his coffee with a switchblade. It's fucking great, this guy, ex-Marine. And then I started doing little things here and there. And then he gave me a bigger part in this Jungle Fever. And that really like unleashed a lot of, I worked on it. And I really like.
And then the agents and managers started coming. Hi, I'm Joe. Yeah. We saw you. And
at first they wouldn't talk to me.
Right. At first you're nobody. And all of a sudden, we loved your work. We saw a screening. It would be really great if you come to our office, we'd love to meet you.
Yeah.
And you're in the city at this point. You're still in New York.
Right. I'm still in New York. And then, the agents started talking to me. They didn't worry about my teeth being crooked or this or that. And all of a sudden,
you have credits already. You have big credits. You've worked with, future movie stars.
Yeah. And then
current movie stars. Yeah.
Movie of the week. And then a couple of years later, I actually got a pilot. It didn't get picked up, but I was like, wow. And it flew me out to LA and I got some sitcom pilot. Because I always had like the comedy genes in it, even though I wound up in the drama world. I always had that. I knew I always had like that feeling. Not that I wanted to be a comic, but I had good timing. I felt like I could be funny without trying to be funny. if that makes sense.
But how crazy is it? How crazy is life that if you didn't take that phone call that morning from Spike, where your life would be now? It'd be a different path.
You're right. I mean, you think about your life, right? I don't know if Danny thinks the same way, but like, if I didn't go down that fucking night, if I went back, who knows? He may have not called me. Just like when I met like my wife, I went on a plane, I like saw her, I almost didn't get her number. I did at the end of the flight, and I'm like, what, these little moments in your life, like how crazy. Yeah, it could be on the other side too, where you make all these mistakes and you're like, wow, sure. Why did I do that? Why that? But the good things are like shit like that. Like that was meant to be. That was how it was meant to be. It wasn't, I wasn't serious enough or disciplined enough when I was younger. That was how it was meant to be for me.
But those people who were serious about it in school and college that you went to, Nick, I mean, they didn't make it. So sometimes when you put too much of yourself into something, it doesn't always pan out too.
Well, listen, there's a reason why people make it and don't make it. But, some people, they have it and some don't. I mean, and it's not for everybody. Danny knows it's a brutal field. It really is. It's a shitty profession on a lot of levels because, it's feast or famine, up, down. All of a sudden you're somebody, and then people are like, where you been? Where you been? Like, I haven't seen you. Like, do I know you? Do I know you? No, I didn't pass away yet. I didn't die.
Don't you know who I think I used to be? Come on.
I'm sure you feel that way a lot of times.
No, it's just funny, because when things are moving well and things are hopping, it's just so funny how people treat you differently than when you're not. And unless you've had that experience, you don't realize the lack of it. Right? Until you've had it, you don't realize its absence. Right. And so it's interesting, obviously you were a huge television star
at a time when millions of people were watching television too, like just fucking obscene.
At a time when you were on television, you were a big deal and it was huge. Today, if you're on TV, you don't even know where the show is. Yeah, like a lot of times that my son goes, this guy's on this show today. I said, who are you? And he goes, you're mean to these people. I go, I'm not mean. I don't know who they are. I said, back when I was on television, you knew who I was. You knew the show. It was big. It was a big deal.
And what was it, like 20 million an episode? Is that what was viewing it, or was it way more?
Listen, it was huge. I remember when NYPD Blue first aired, and that winter I went home to a Knick game. It was like the whole city knew me. And I was like, wow. The whole, it was, people would watch the show. The next day, you go to breakfast, and people are like, dude, I love what you're doing. I love the show, this, that. And it was good shit.
Well, and it was like, it put the 10 p.m. slot on the map, too, because before
that. 10 p.m. Tuesday night, ABC, NBC, CBS. It was a big deal. It was exciting. It's a shame what's happened, with all these conglomerates and
it's hard to find. I mean, when we were doing this movie, and it'd been a minute since NYPD had finished. But we're walking around Mulberry Street in Little Italy, Jason, and we can't go anywhere without, we can't pay for anything. Nobody will let him pay for anything. Everything's on the arm. We got a little pastry. You can't pay for anything. Wanted to eat something, grab something, some coffee, nothing. Nobody would let him pay. As a matter of fact, they'd give us shit. We'd be walking around with what do we got to do? We got to carry this shit now? Yeah, it's fine, carry, go ahead. So we meet this guy for lunch. I got to tell you the story. We meet this guy for lunch, and apparently he wants to do a television deal with Nick, right? Now, we meet this guy in a little restaurant in Little Italy, and all I'm going to say is that there was us in the restaurant and no one else, except his son, who was in a full-length Adidas tracksuit. And he was standing in the corner. We're eating. He's standing. And we're having this conversation with this guy, and this guy's like, listen, Nick, it's a good show. I mean, you got to come over to, come over to Universal, and we got to do this thing, man. And Nicky is trying to get out. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea. I'm not sure. And I'm sitting. I've never sat with. Can I say it?
Yeah.
I guess we could with a made guy before. I've never sat with a made guy before, and I didn't know. Like, I'd only seen it in the movies. It's an entirely different experience in real life. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's fucking frightening.
Yeah. I mean, he's a street guy, but he's a big character, and he goes by the name of Downtown Ronnie. A lot of people know him. He's a good guy, but he has that.
He's got that thing. He's got that made guy thing.
Aura about him. I don't know what he's done, what he hasn't done. I don't think he's a killer, but he's definitely a street guy with some credibility. Old school guy, good guy. You know, I took him to a premiere, so he fell in love with me, and I took him to the Longest Yard in New York, and he had a great time. And that was a Nicky. You know, Danny like got a big kick out of it, and he was like. He goes, I was like, I wasn't there. It was like the guy was.
Oh, it was literally. I was sitting right next to him trying to make conversations at first.
I was like,
and when
this
he didn't
is Danny
respond,
Nucci. I go, my friend Danny Nucci. You know, I was trying to include him. I didn't want to, you know.
He was having none of it. He wanted to talk this deal with Nick Turturro.
He's a big actor. I go, you know, guy's been in bigger movies than me. That's all right. Nice kid, you know.
That's all right. So anyway, Nick, let's get back to this deal. Unbelievable. What about sauce? But we want to talk about sauce.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we ever?
You're passionate about. By the way, I've had quite a few meals with Nick. He makes food look really good, even if it's horrible. If he likes it, you're like, I need to have some of this, whatever it is. The man is passionate for food. So tell us about your sauce. What's your sauce, and where did it come from?
It came from basically me. I mean, Nicky Red sauce is something I invented. My mother made a great sauce. I never knew how she made it. I never saw what she did, how she made the meatballs. It was freaking great. So then in my 20s, I started fooling around with making a sauce, and it got better and better. And then I gave it a name. I said, it's Nicky Red sauce. And everybody's like, how do you make it? What do you do? What do you do? I said, nah, I can't tell you. You know, it's like magic. It's like bullshit.
It's always the secret, right?
But it's your hand. It's how you develop it.
That's right.
And then I actually made it for Sandler one time, and Kevin James like drank the bottle. I don't know why.
Ooh, I love drinking a good sauce. Actually.
I know. I said, but you don't drink it. You know, and let me tell you something. It's sauce. All these Italians, they always you got the gravy. It's not gravy. It's
Philly's gravy.
Yeah.
Philly's gravy.
Yeah, whatever. But I say it's sauce. So he liked it so much. His brother introduced me to a guy that said, we got to do something with this. Put it in a jar. And we actually did. We developed it. And then we launched it years ago. And it was actually a reality. The Nicky Red sauce was actually in the supermarkets. But I had one flavor. And I had two greaseball Italian guys that were helping me. And then they got pinched for some shit. I don't know. So the sauce never really like took off.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah, that was glazed over there.
Come back. Say what?
Yeah, that's what happened was, you know, we made the sauce and this guy in Connecticut developed it. I gave him the recipe. And then, you know, little by little, it finally came out. It was a premium sauce. It was great. I mean, it could have been like, even if I bring it back, it could still be a success.
Wait, you give a guy a recipe. Do you have him sign an NDA to never share that recipe?
Of course. But then the guy has to try to make it, send it to you, and say, is this it? Is this it? And I'd be like, no. And then we had to figure out how to get the rib bone in there, because from the rib bone, that's
pork bone, right?
The pork bone, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you get the flavor. So, you know, and the sauce came out freaking great. So I told people, I said, you know, when you're eating the sauce, think about like I'm in it, like you're eating me. Like that's how.
What's in the sauce? What kind of sauce is it? What's in the sauce?
Well, it's you know, it's.
No, I mean, is it a meat sauce? Is it a marinara sauce? By the way, I didn't realize that marinara came from the fact that they used to be the kind of sauce that they could carry on ships, which is why it was called
I didn't know
marinara.
that either.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I just learned that.
You make sauce, Danny?
I do not make sauce. I let the wife make the sauce. She makes a bolognese. It's outstanding.
I mean, you're like half Italian, ain't you?
Yeah, but I just never learned how to cook. Plus, I got a shiksa wife who makes an unbelievable bolognese. I mean, outstanding.
She makes a nice
cooks
bolognese.
It for 4 hours. Cooks it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's got 4 different kind of meats, and I mean, and you know, she does it right. She puts it with like a penne or a ziti. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah,
because you know the meat gets inside the little two pots. It's fucking great.
Yeah, but I cook my meat right in the sauce. Some people cook this separate.
Oh, you do.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
I put the pork bone and the sausage, but I like to get a certain type of pork with the thin, like a thin kind of pork, but that it has a nice bone. I let it sit right there, like let it, you know, slow cook it for like 2 hours. Then you let it simmer, and let it sit there for like most of the day, because then at night it settles, and then it's magic sometimes when you have it over pasta.
Which pasta do you choose? What pasta do you go? What do you pair it with there, Nick? Do you care?
As long as it's good pasta and as long as it's al dente. I don't like mushy ass pasta.
I like an angel hair. Is an angel hair appropriate for your sauce?
I hate that. I hate that sauce.
You hate angel hair?
Yeah, that's the one pasta everybody tries to.
You pick the one he won't use.
The one I fucking hate. I hate.
You know why I love it? Because I like the sauce. So after I'm done with the pasta, I like a whole bunch in the pasta bowl after.
But it's not really pasta.
My son's asking what pasta. It's the one pasta I hate.
Which one?
Angel hair.
Oh, I like it.
I hate that pasta.
He likes a capellini, the kid.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like a good ziti.
Fusilli's good.
Fusilli's all right. I like a good little,
Apparently, fusilli's great with pesto.
Hey, listen, I'm becoming a fan of pesto. When they make the pesto right, when they make it right, I love it.
Nicky green sauce too. That's what you need.
I don't want to call it Nicky.
You got Nicky red sauce and Nicky green sauce.
Christmas, red and green.
Well, I have a friend.
You get one of each. You get a jar of each. You get a red sauce and Nicky green sauce for Christmas.
My friend Enzo, he has a place in Vegas at the Wynn. He's a great chef, and he makes a great pesto. But I do make a great red sauce. I mean, my red sauce is it's up there with the top ones. You know what I mean? Like when it comes out right, and I got the right crushed tomatoes, because the tomatoes, sometimes some of them are bitter, some of them are not. It depends. You got to get the right tomatoes.
Like a San Marzano? Like, is that what you...
That's a little overrated. There's one back east that I love called Turturro. Turturro is a great red sauce. You know what I mean? I love it. Then, I may have certain things I make too, like my scrambled eggs. I do something special with the scrambled eggs. Nobody makes scrambled eggs like me. It's different. I have a trick I do, It comes
Nicky eggs and Nicky red sauce. Yeah. I like this. Nicky eggs. By the way, there's a restaurant coming here. I feel it.
Maybe.
You serve four things.
Listen, I'm starting to branch out. I'm trying to get in the pizza business because friends of mine, I became an ambassador for this Prince Street Pizza. It's blowing up.
Oh, yeah. They just opened here in Studio City.
Have you been to the store?
No, not yet.
Well, go over there. I'll tell you, go over there and see my friend Dane. If you see Dane, tell him Nick Turturro sent you. He'll take good care.
By the way, everybody that listens to this is going to go.
He's an ambassador. He's doing the ambassador job.
I'm an ambassador. I went to Coney Island. They had a pizza festival.
I saw that on Instagram. Yeah.
You see that guy Dave Portnoy? And all of a sudden, he's the voice of pizza, Barstool, whatever. But I was there with Prince Street.
Which one do I get?
Well, what do you like? Are you a simple guy, or are you a guy that likes?
No, I like it. I like it all.
All right, so then
I'll go crazy.
Get the big one with the pepperoni. It's big. It's
Spicy spring.
Spicy.
Spicy spring.
Spicy what?
Spicy spring.
Spring?
Yes.
It's called Spicy Spring.
But everybody says you can't get a good pizza in LA. Is this changing?
No, that's not. There's a lot of pizza places. You got Wagon in Sherman Oaks that has a good...
Wagon's good.
The guys from Bay...
I like Mulberry.
Mulberry's good too. Joe's ain't bad. And listen, it's never going to be new. Never believe the bullshit about, we got the water. You ain't got shit. I had a guy arguing with me, telling me, Nick, no, really, we got the filtration. I go, I don't believe you. I don't really believe you. I go, I just don't believe you can get that water. You know what I mean? But
Speaking of pizza.
Yeah, I love
Speaking of pizza.
I could eat pizza every day. So I want to be involved with this. I might get a Prince Street. I don't know. We'll see. I want to be in the pizza business.
Where are you, by the way? Are you still in LA?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Are you still? You're still here, right?
Yeah. Same place. All right. So listen, this is the audience question, and it has to do with pizza.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
Okay. There is a huge debate if pineapple belongs on pizza or not. What's the one thing that should never be in sauce?
Pineapple.
That's Jennifer K asked that question.
No pineapple.
Give her credit.
Never.
And angel hair, apparently.
Yeah. Listen, you want to hear a funny story? I'm developing a show. Me and my wife are developing a show about Italian neighborhoods. I can't go into it. Anyway,
sure.
So
we don't want anybody stealing the idea.
No, I don't want to say the idea. But
no, don't.
And Danny should be in it. Yeah,
there you go.
You'll be in it.
By the way, I like your son. Everything he's got to say, I like.
Oh, he's smart. Say hi, Nick.
going on?
Nicky the third?
Nick.
You got a third Nicky here?
Yes, Nick.
Nick.
What's up, Danny?
What's up, man? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Big fan, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm a big fan of your dad's. He's a unique individual, as you've noticed your whole life.
Yeah, I came from him, so I guess so, right?
And you like angel hair, so I'm all right with that.
And he likes the Capellini, which is great.
No, why he doesn't like angel hair is because one time my mom, she ran out of 2 boxes of angel hair, so she mixed it with, I think it was either linguine or spaghetti.
Oh, you can't mix. They don't cook together.
So then he was eating it, and he felt the thicker one, and then he felt the thinner one. He was like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck? What did you do? What the fuck did you do?" She goes, "I mixed it." He goes, "Why would you mix it? Don't fucking mix my pasta." That's why he hates angel hair.
That was it.
Forgot that.
Yeah.
By the way, we finish for the audience, the listeners. We finish, and he starts asking me questions. So, Danny, your 5 favorite movie? I'm like, all of a sudden, he goes, "Yeah, I wanted to ask you questions." Now he wants to interview me.
I think after we stopped recording, the conversation was longer than when we were actually recording. And now you got a date out of it. You might get a little diddlini.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not kidding. Anyway, I'm gonna get some diddlini out of it. I'm not kidding. You go anywhere with Nick, it's all free. I wasn't kidding. I'm gonna go get a free Prince Street pizza with Nick. He doesn't live far from me. He doesn't live far from me, but it's great. It was great, reconnecting with him.
It's really cool that the podcast is connecting you with
people. I know it's great, because I sort of disappeared for a while.
Well, and you could probably throw a rock to his house, right? I mean,
it's a hell of a throw. I mean, I'd have to be, I'd have to have Andrew Luck's arm. Who? I mean. But yeah, there's no reason for us not to get together and have a free pizza. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to have his sauce. That's the thing I'm gonna hound on. This sounds amazing with these.
You got to try to convince him to do Nicky's green sauce as well, because I love a good pesto.
But not with Capellini, apparently.
No, we can't do the angel hair. Oof, I love the angel hair. I love it.
I know, it's unbelievable. I can't believe how passionate you are about angel hair. It's only good, I think, I like checca, where you have the tomatoes and the garlic.
Yes. But I love it because I love to spoon up everything at the end, and it just slips right through. It goes down to the bowl.
That's what it is. Well, you can just have a bowl of ingredients.
You can just have a bowl of marinara. That sounds good to me.
Bowl of marinara. All right. Well, this was terrific. And to everyone, audience and or listeners, thanks for listening.
Music by Denny Nucci. Produced and edited by the same 2 people you heard hosting this show because they have no friends.